Hey guys, welcome back. Today it's about food photography. Now I've done food photography equipment videos in the past, but I haven't focused on the main equipment. I've dealt with the props and all the accessory stuff, but I haven't dealt with the main things. And that's what this video is about. So if you want to look at the main equipment I think you should have as a food photographer, then stick around. This one is for you. Camera to start? No, you don't. You might want to start just by using your cell phone and then progressing from there. There's crop sensors, there's full frame, there's mirrorless, there's a whole wide variety of cameras that you can start with. My go-to camera, and it's older, is the Nikon D800. Why have I not upgraded? I don't need to. It serves my purposes. I love that camera. But did I start with that? No. I started with a crop sensor and then moved my way up as I kind of progressed through my career. So you don't need to jump to that big one. Your cell phone might be good enough. Something else to think about, what about renting a camera? What about buying a used camera? So you don't have to bite the bullet and lay out big cash. You might be able to get a good deal on a used camera. Now, to go with that camera, especially if you're into the DSLRs or the mirrorless, the interchangeable lenses. My go-to lens that I always talk about is that Tamron 90mm lens. Now it's not just the brand, but it's that focal length that I love. The 90mm to the 100mm, I absolutely love for doing food photography because I can get that really blown out background. I can compress that background in. I absolutely love it. Another go-to is that nifty 50, that 50mm lens. I absolutely love, especially if I'm doing like lay flats and top downs and stuff. That nifty 50 comes in handy. So that is my go-to lenses for doing food photography. And it's something that you should look at. And again, you can rent different lenses to find that sweet spot for yourself. We've got our camera, we've got lenses on it, but we need to put it on something in order to take a picture. You don't typically want to hold with your hand, and it's very hard to do a top down, and you don't want to fall off the table or the ladder as you're trying to balance to try and get that photo. So what do we need to put our camera on? We need to put it on a tripod. Now, there's a bunch of different tripods available on the market. Some are specifically geared for filmmaking, videography. Others are geared for photography. Typically, if it's got like that big pan feature, that is a key indicator that it is designed for video work. Now, yes, it'll work. Anything will work in a pinch, but you typically don't want that for doing food photography. You want the standard tripod. I use the Manfrotto tripod, and I like it because the center column comes up and will go over and work kind of like a boom arm. And in some cases, that works brilliantly. Camera, lenses, tripod. Now we need some kind of light because what? Light is one of the biggest factors in photography. Now you might start off by using natural light. I personally am not a huge fan of natural light because I can't control it. Yes, I have control issues. Nevertheless, you can't really control it. If it turns out to be a sunny day, then you're trying to put diffusers up and I like artificial light. Now you can go with a constant light like I'm using for video here, for LEDs and stuff like that, but I tend to go with studio strobes. There's a whole wide world of different makes, models, and strobes out there. I tend to use the Alien B B800. To me, they're about a midline level studio strobe. They're not the high end, but they're also not bottom end. It's something for you to look at to see as you're progressing, because typically most people start with natural light and work their way up. Again, renting becomes an option. Buying used becomes an option. Have a look, do some research. I like my Alien Bs. I've been with them like forever, back in the old days when the White Lightnings were their first line. So anyways, studio strobes, artificial light, to me is a godsend in doing food photography. So now we got a light, we need to put it on something. So you're going to need a light stand to put it on. Now, one of the stands that I highly recommend is what they call a C-stand. It's basically a three-legged stand that is a solid steel construction with a great big boom arm across. It's got a hook on the back. I got a tennis ball there so I don't get that hook in the head, which I have had in the past. So the tennis ball protects that. But anyways, that big boom arm will come out and go across. You can hang stuff on it. I can mount my camera on it to do the lay flats and top down stuff. I can attach a light on and shoot down. So it has a great versatility. So that's one thing that I highly recommend is you get yourself a good solid C-stand. And you're going to need just a normal stand to be able to put your strobe on as well. So you're going to need a couple of different stands, but the C-stand I highly recommend that you get. Okay, now that we've got our light, we need to be able to control it a bit more other than just the level of brightness that it comes with. We need to be able to soften it. We need to be able to diffuse it. You can use a bed sheet, you can use window shears, you can buy photographic quality diffusers. They come in various sizes, from like little ones from about 6 inches, and I've got one that's like 6 foot by 7 foot. I can put in front of a window, or I can put in front of a couple of studio strobes to diffuse it down. But you want to be able to soften that light out for that soft light look, which I absolutely love. And guess what? It'll actually help you create a daylight look as well. I would have put a link to a video I did down below on how to create the daylight look using studio strobes. Now again, we got that nice soft light. We need to be able to further control it. So you can take something kind of like this here. This is just a piece of white foam core, but you can bounce the light. So I can take the light and fill in the shadow on this side. See, look at that. Foam core is your best friend. It also comes in black. So if I put a piece of black foam core here, it'll work as a negative fill. So you've got a fill and a negative fill. So you want all types of different material, and I've done videos in the past on how you can bounce light around by using like tinfoil and all kinds of stuff. But again, you need something to bounce light. You must have it. Otherwise, you're gonna have a really hard time doing food photography because it'll be bright on one side and deep black shadows on the other. Not always what you want. Now that we've got all that, you need something to shoot on. You need some kind of surface. Now you could take a couple of like the sawhorses and throw a piece of plywood across the top. That'll work. I use a 6 foot folding table. You can also use a card table. I like them because they fold up and I could store them out of the way when I'm not using them. But you need something to shoot on. There's a variety of different things. Like I say, I like the 6 foot table. You can also get them, I think, 3 foot, 4 foot, 6 foot, 8 foot. So you can get various sizes to whatever suits your need. And if it's not quite wide enough, it's easy because I'm throwing what? Backgrounds onto it that are bigger than the table. So now my table is actually bigger. So not only have you got the table, but now we've got to think about backgrounds. There's a whole world of different backgrounds available to you. You've got different rolls of paper. You've got paper backgrounds. You can use cloth. You can use vinyl. I've shown you how you can create your own backgrounds. I'll put a link to that video down below so you can see different ways of creating backgrounds for doing your food photography. Other than just commercial ones, you can create your own to get that specific look and be unique. But yeah, you're gonna need a bunch of different backgrounds and shooting surfaces. Now, another thing that I can't live without is clamps. You're gonna need all kinds of clamps to be able to clamp backgrounds on, hold things in place. The other thing that I absolutely love are these type things, and these are smart arms with the super clamps on the end. These are an articulating arm, which means you can bend it, twist it, turn it, and you can control however it goes. These are very handy. Multiple uses, but clamps, you can never have enough, and you need all sizes. Those, to me, are a must. I don't think I know of any studio photo product, even I think a wedding photographer, because they clamp clothes. Everybody needs clamps. You can never have enough, and you need a wide variety of sizes. Now, another thing that'll be your best friend is this. This is sticky tack. To me, I can't live without this stuff. You got a can that's rolling or a glass that's rolling. You can put a little bit of sticky tack underneath. You need a fruit to stand a certain way or something to stand up. This stuff is a godsend. This sticky tack comes in different colors. This one's white. I also have some blue stuff. You can't live without it. It's like clamps to me. So that's the things, in my opinion, that you must have to be a food photographer. You don't need the highest quality of the equipment to start with. You might be mid-level and already have some stuff. You might have been doing some portraits and decide to switch over. So you already have some equipment. You might want to upgrade later. The Nikon D800, it does exactly what I need. Me going out buying the latest, greatest camera is not going to make me generate more money. In other words, it doesn't make my ship go faster. No point in me buying it. Now, my last little thing I've got here for you is you're going to need a lot of room in your studio or wherever you're shooting. Not just for your photo equipment that you're going to gather, that gets bad enough, but the props, oh my God, the plates, the bowls, the knives, the forks, the dishes, the cutting boards, all the props. You're going to need a lot of room to store all your props. Like I say, it's bad enough with the photo equipment. I only got a little bit behind me here. You're going to need room to store all this stuff. If you have anything you think that I left out, leave it in the comment down below. Anyways, that's it for this one. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you're aware when I post new videos like this. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. So, until the next time.